Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be having a little bit of fun today and just trying on a bunch of new pro makeup items. Later this year, I'm going to be doing one of my good friends' makeup for her wedding, and I used to do makeup professionally for weddings and special events and things like that. It's been a few years, and so I didn't really have any of my pro makeup equipment, so to say. Recently purchased some items that I think are going to do the trick, and I'm just going to be trying them on myself just for fun, because at the end of the wedding these are still going to be in my possession, and so I want to make sure that I like them and I know how to use them and all that stuff. So if you've been curious about professional makeup at all, then I'll be trying about 5 new things that you might be interested in knowing how they work, so join me. Let's do it. Okay, so for my new items, I purchased them on nigelsemporium.com, the website. They are an LA-based pro beauty company with hundreds of brands pretty much, and I still have my pro makeup discount with their website, so I was still able to get these at a really great price, and so I just love that, because who doesn't love a good deal? Okay, so what I've already done for myself is I have cleansed my skin, I've toned my skin and moisturized lightly. On the day of any makeup application for a special occasion, I will really take the time and prep my client's skin beforehand and really let it sink in before applying the makeup, and that just ensures that anything I put on top of the base is just going to be, better prepared with skincare. What I would normally do if I'm doing someone's makeup is I would start on their eyes first, so I'm going to start on my eyes first. The first thing that I got that's new is from Danessa Myricks. This is the Color Fix 24-hour cream color nudes. She also makes these in like vibrant colors as well, but this is like from the nude range. This is number 1, and I'm going to kind of read you briefly about what they claim it's used for. Okay, so they describe it as being an extreme long wearing paint that can be safely used on lips, eyes, or face, and that it's a supremely versatile hybrid cream color. There's 12 shades in these nudes. Oh, I think there's a spelling error, but it says it's formulated for remarkable longevity. I think they mean formulated. And endurance. This is supposed to be smudge proof, waterproof, rapid drying, and sustainable in high temperatures with a matte finish. So they say that you can put this all over the eyes, the lips, the cheeks. You can put it as a concealer under the eyes. You can put it as an eye base. It's just supposed to be a multi-purpose paint, as they were saying, except this one has a matte finish. So I think that's the biggest point of difference, is that her other color fixes have a, I think, cream finish, and so those you would want to layer with a powder, versus this you could put by itself. One of their tips is put it underneath a concealer to make it a waterproof base, which I think is interesting. It also says you can mix it in with a complexion product to adjust a shade, and that it plays well with wax, silicone, and oil-based products. Okay, so I did test this out yesterday before I went to bed last night. I was just playing around with the texture, and I noticed that this looked really awful under my eyes. It looked a little like it was missing coverage in some places, but it did look great on my eyelid as a base, so I'm going to do that. I've got my little, I've got my paw palette, as they've called it. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit out. After last night's playtime, I learned that you really don't need very much at all. I'm just going to take a little cream eyeshadow brush and just apply this. Now I'm hoping that this, series of products can just help me determine what I like for longevity and, you know, what works well. She and I have a very similar complexion. So I feel good about, you know, trying these for their formulas, but then fine-tuning it to fit her complexion. So I just did a really light wash of this just all over my eye. Now I'm actually really looking forward to this quote-unquote job, because even though I haven't been doing makeup professionally these last couple years, you know, I love seeing people's work online. I love the idea of working on someone's face. I definitely miss it. I think what I don't miss is like the hustle. Just the idea that, like, you know, you want to take every job because you need it, even though I had a full-time job at the time. So my eyes are primed and ready for more. I think this looks really great for just a light wash of powder to kind of smooth out the blue veins on my eye. And it doesn't feel incredibly tacky, it just feels like a little bit of a barrier between my skin and what's to come. I think for me, in my ripe age of 30, this formula being so matte under my eyes that are so crepey and dry, it just is a combination for failure. So on my eyelids, it works beautifully. The next thing I'm going to try is from the brand Atelier. This is their Ultra Matte. That's just what it's called. Okay, so this is a 1 fluid ounce bottle that is a spray bottle. The thing that they are claiming is that this is the first ever silicone-based spray mattifier that allows you to banish shine before, during, and after your face application. So often when you put powder on your skin, you really shouldn't or can't keep putting powder on your skin to tone down shine, because it can get physically cakey and it can catch on camera, like the powder effect, especially like HD cameras. So they say that no matter how many times you apply this is not going to look cakey. It's going to keep mattifying the skin, but making it look fresh. So I thought that was really genius. But they are also claiming that it's a revolutionary formula that contains optical blurring pigments that provide microscopic reflection, minimizing the look of fine lines and wrinkles for an overall softer, more youthful appearance. And this particular silicone formula is heat, moisture, and sebum resistant. Anyway, the wedding is going to be in the fall, but I do know that, you know, in the fall it can still be very hot, and we're going to be on the East Coast, so I don't know what how it'll be over there anyway. So I'm going to try this out. I'm just curious to see, you know, how it plays with the rest of my face. I personally don't get oily. I just want to see how the product works, pretty much. So their pro tips is to hold the bottle about 12 inches away from the face, spray each side of the face once, and it sprays to a dry touch. So although you won't be able to feel it, it's there and it's working, they say. It says you can then buff it in using a fluffy brush. They also have a pro tip that you can spray this directly into your foundation, like pump, and that way the mattifying silicones are, like, you know, mixing into your liquid. About 12 inches, yeah. Oh, that is really weird. When it said that it has a dry, what does it say? It sprays on dry, so you can't feel it. That is very, very true. Whoa, weird. Okay, I'm just going to take a fluffy brush. This brush doesn't have any product on it, and it says you can buff it in. think the idea is that this is kind of like a liquefied primer that you can just keep applying or mixing in, and I think that's really, really clever, because I would definitely have primed my oily skin clients with like a tube of like a silicone based prime, but then I would also have to, you know, touch up their skin throughout the day with powder. And so I don't know, I think this is really great. I know I said I was gonna start on my eyes and then I went to face, but I do like the idea of putting on my face products as a base to let it sink in while I move on to my eyes. So let's go back to eyes. Today I am going to be trying out the Beautopsy palette by Hindash. This is my first time using it. I first received it the other day. I thought what a great palette this would be to keep in your professional kit if you were a working makeup artist, because, you know, Hindash himself is a working makeup artist. That's kind of how he grew to become so well known and how he developed his own brand. That's my understanding. So with using this, I just think you really have everything you need for your client in this one palette. You have your warm tones, your cool tones, you've got your light, medium, deep, and dark shades, you've got your cheeks, your brows. You really do have quite a lot in here, and it's ready to go in this one palette. For the sake of today, I'm thinking I'm just going to do a really simple, neutral, like brown and cream eye look. And I consulted with my client, my friend, that's kind of like what she was looking for as well for the day, and then possibly like, you know, some gold shimmer or like a neutral shimmer on the eyes. Also, I'm noticing that the Danessa Myricks has a teensy tiny amount of creasing, but this is so minimal compared to some of my other tinted primers. So I'm going to start going in with this like middle tone brown. My personal taste for doing bridal makeup is the overused term soft glam, truly, because I do think that it's important to have a bit of your personality in your makeup on your wedding day based on like the brides I've met. But I think that they appreciate it when you just enhance their natural look and maybe just do like a small glamorous thing, like, you know, fluffy lashes or a glitzy highlight, just something to kind of enhance it a bit more, but without taking it to make you look unrecognizable. I love doing makeup on people that I know personally because it makes it just fun for me to know, okay, I already know what you do your makeup like, and I know what you like, and here's, you know, my interpretation of that, or here's what I would do if I looked like you, pretty much. Okay, so I have my really soft brown blended base. First impression from this is incredible. I haven't used such an easy to use eyeshadow in a very, very long time. I mean, I am just loving how soft this looks. Really beautiful. I'm going to keep using the same brush and just kind of go in to the deeper end of this light brown. I'm just going to slightly darken up this darker. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a more precise brush, and I'm going to dip into this mid-tone brown. I'm kind of working in like this C shape because for like a really light natural look, I still want some darkness, but I don't want it to be sitting just here, nor do I want to focus it here. I just like this softer gradient that just sort of smooths the eye shape, if that makes sense at all. Okay, I'm going to keep using the Hindash palette and do like a powder eyeliner. I'm going to start off with this mid-tone brown. off topic, but on Tuesday, in a couple days, I have a doctor's appointment, kind of like a follow-up. About 4 months ago, maybe 3 to 5 months ago, I went to see a primary care physician because my hands were going numb. When I would go to sleep, I would go to sleep and like wake up throughout the night because I couldn't feel my hands, and it was so intense that like it would, wake me up. And it would happen maybe like every other night, not every night. So I had made an appointment, and the doctor did, she asked me a few general questions about how long this has been happening, what are the sensations like, and then she asked me things like, have you been in an accident? Have you had any neck or back injuries? To which I told her, no, nothing like that. I told her my family history of illness, and she assured me that she thought it would be very temporary, and that it should go away on its own pretty much. And so I thought, okay, that's great to hear. I will continue living my life. And then here we are at the end of January, several months later, and the sensation has evolved basically to now every single night, pretty much from my fingertips up to my shoulders go numb. I don't want to get emotional about it, but it's been really alarming because I wake up and I can't pick up my phone because I have no sensation. Guess we'll check if the makeup is waterproof, right? Or before I even wake up, I'll wake up several times throughout the night and I will have to like sit up so that like the blood flow in my hands can circulate, because both will be in such grave pain. Anyways, I thought of it just now because usually when I get up in the morning and I get ready for the day, it goes away. But the last week or so, it happens when I'm driving. It happened just now when I was holding this palette. My mom, who was very sick most of my childhood, she went through things like this too. And I just remember her, losing the ability to pretty much use her hands. I don't want to get too sobby about this, but I have an appointment in a couple days to follow up to see basically what's going on. I might need to do like some different tests to check out like the nerves in my back and spine to see if it's like pinched, to see if that's what's causing it or if it's something else. So we will see. So in short, I really am a big fan of this Beautopsy palette already. I've only used a small amount of the color, but I cannot wait to keep using this. I'm gonna do some, I'm gonna apply some products off camera that are not new, and then we'll come back and continue with the rest of our new stuff. So see you in a minute. Hey everyone, I'm back. Okay, so I just finished up my eyes. I feel like these lashes are not what I was going for, but I had them and I've been wanting to try them, and so they're on. What can you do about it? These are the Ardell's, the Naked Lashes in the number 421. And I mean, they're nice. They're not something I would wear to a wedding, nor as a bride. So they don't fit the rest of this look, but that's okay. Next up, we're going to be doing my complexion. We are doing my complexion. All of you guys are helping me. Okay, so I'm going to be going in with the Face Atelier Pro Ultra Foundation Pro in the shade number 1. Let me tell you a little bit about this foundation. Okay, so this is a highly pigmented, long-lasting, innovative foundation that provides buildable coverage with a natural-looking, dewy finish. This is silicone-based, and It can be sheared out or it can be built up for full coverage. Due to its unique blend of silicones in the formulation, Ultra Foundation forms a delicate, lightweight, and flexible second skin with a natural breathing ability. No primer is needed. And then let me tell you the pro tips. It says to shake well before applying. Use sparingly on moisturized skin as a little goes a long way. Best applied with a stippling motion, and it has a longer drying time than other foundations, so it moves for quite a while. Reapply for more coverage before you reach for concealer. Mix with a face cream to create a custom tinted moisturizer. It is impervious to tears, no streaking, making it the foundation for brides of any age and race. Okay, so I'm going to shake well. Okay. I am going to be using the Sigma F80 kabuki brush because I like this best for like stippling motion. Oh my gosh, my cat. She's sitting on the couch and just sitting this close to the back pillow. Just her eyes are closed. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, so I've got here, I'm gonna put 1 pump of product. I think that's gonna be too much, but here we go. All right, it says it's gonna take a long time to dry, so it's easy to keep moving around, and it's best when stippled and to use less than you think, probably. Okay, so there's a teensy bit. Me swiping when they say to stipple. Oops. It certainly does look like my skin. It hasn't made it look particularly like fake or falsified. I've been using like the teensiest amount of product and really just doing that stippling, and I think it would be really beautiful if I like built it up in my like scarred areas. Something I worry about with new foundations is I worry that it's going to settle in my lines, those especially, and then also like my smile lines. I don't normally have any problem with my eye lines. It's mostly this baby and then these. But I mean, it did specifically say great for not settling in wrinkles. I do think this color match is great because it's fair, but it isn't white, and it's not too pink, and it's not too yellow. It is yellow, but it isn't too yellow. I think that on me, if I were wearing this for a special occasion, I would go in first with maybe a color correcting or super high coverage concealer on my darkest spots, let it dry down, and then go in with this because this isn't quite building up as much as I would like in this area. But I mean, it's not awful. I'm gonna take a bit of a smaller concealer brush and try going in under my eye. And just for fun, I'm gonna try one more time to build this up. See what happens. Alright, so you can see from my normal skin to this side, it really just looks like enhanced skin, which I love. I love that it doesn't look thick, it doesn't look powdery, it doesn't look oily. It just has sort of like molded to the curvature of my skin, and just even out so that it kind of matches like the rest of my body. I think it's lovely. Here I am with the finished foundation all over. Something else I am noticing, as much as I thought it wouldn't, I mean, my wrinkles, they're not fine lines. My wrinkles on my forehead are very predominant. Like I have said in the past, I spent a lot of time in the sun in my youth with absolutely no protection on my skin. So it makes sense that my poor skin is like, well, I don't have the collagen anymore to smooth out, so suffer my wrath. Anyways, if I were having, if this was my special day, I would probably go to like the injectable route to solve that solution, because this is not my special day. It doesn't really matter to me how my forehead looks, but I would probably go to the extremes to solve this rather than blame a foundation. So that's neither here nor there. I'm going back into the Hindash, and I'm just taking powder eyeshadow to line just below my lashes. That's my preferred method over a liner. And instead of bringing concealer all the way up to get creasy, I just think this is kind of like a happy medium. It defines the eye shape, of course, but it's not super intense. It still kind of polishes off the look, but it doesn't look too crazy. I'm taking a little bit of the Thrive Cosmetics Brilliant Eye Brightener and just gonna put that in my inner corners, a little bit on my brow bone. My second to last new product is from Danessa Myricks. This is the Feminist, what is it? This is the Luxe Cream Palette in the Feminist color palette, meaning there's two versions of this. This one just has a little bit more of like the pinks and like the roses, and the other one's a little bit more of like browns and mauves, I want to say. So these are meant for eyes, lips, and cheeks, and they are supposed to be matte. Now, I dipped into two of the colors already yesterday just to kind of get a feel for them. I used my little spatula to scrape some out. These, in my opinion, are very not matte. And that could be maybe just user error, but no matter how much I blended, it was still looking radiant, which I personally like. But I mean, we can still play around with it to see how they translate on film. Before I use it, let me tell you a little bit about what Danessa's claims are for this cream blush palette. This is a highly pigmented, smoothing, multi-purpose liquid color product with a satin, here it says satin / semi-matte finish that can be used on the eyes, lips, and cheeks. How funny. I mean, on the palette, it's literally called matte color for eyes, lips, and cheeks. So maybe they've kind of adjusted their definition of what it does. Speaking of what it does, on their website, it says what it does. It provides a soft, buildable wash of color, smooths the appearance of pores and fine lines. How to use it. Use a brush or a finger to lightly buff color into the cheeks to bring more life to the face, or layer under their other glowing products for a glow combo. Cool. Alright, so let's give it a go. Okay, I'm going to use, I think, my finger first and then maybe buff with a brush after. Let's start with a little bit more of terracotta color. And on me, I see where my eye is, and I just kind of go out a little bit, and that's just my preferred starting spot. I'm also just going to bring it back a little bit. I really don't want the blush to be too close to the nose. That's just my take. Okay, the terracotta color actually is turning a bit more pink on its own. Yesterday I had combined my two colors, so I wasn't really able to see how it looked on its own. Okay, so that's with the blush application. I mean blush. That's with my finger application. I prefer the blush to be a little bit of, just to apply a little higher. I just find that it just gives a lifted look. I really don't want my cheeks to look kind of saggy. Gonna take a little bit of the peachier color and just kind of layer it right on top. When I worked at Sephora, I learned very quickly that a lot of people don't love peachy things. I guess peachy blush and peachy lips. I think they like peachy eyes, no problem. But I remember like I would swatch colors on my skin to showcase them for someone who was looking for something, and they'd be like, that's too peachy, that's too peachy. And I didn't like that. Like a lot of people of lots of ages and like, I don't know, skin tones, that was just like something a lot of people did not want. So I would just stop showing it to people. I'm gonna take a little bit of this brownie tone. It's more of like a true brown. It is number, let's see, 8 in the palette. And I'm just gonna try to make it into a bit of like a bronzing effect. Just put a teensy bit. Now one of the brides I did makeup for, when we like consulted about like, you know, what are the qualities of makeup that you want me to help you achieve, like, you know, what kind of makeup looks do you like, just like in your personal preference. And this bride in particular had specifically asked me for like a very bold contour. Like that was just something that she really loved on herself, and so that's what we, you know, we're going for. And I think that's not something that I would do on every client for every occasion, because I don't think it's, I don't know, the look I'm going for, but it really did make a difference on the client who requested it. Taking a little bit more of that brown, and I'm just gonna warm up my hairline. I know that Charlotte Tilbury loves to say that she likes doing blush at the very end of her application because it helps determine whether she needs more or less, based on like how much lipstick they've applied, how much eyeshadow they've applied. And I completely can see how that is a valid point. I just prefer doing it in this order. Okay, and that's the preferred blush on me personally, but I think it just depends on what your client is looking for in their appearance. Okay, I'm going to use a combination of those colors for my lips. Since this is supposed to be like, you know, a multi-purpose palette, I'm just going to put it to the test. In my experience, a lot of brides do not want a pinky lip like I have on now, but I'm just having fun. Although I like the formula in texture, it, I don't know, it kind of looks a little weird, like I've eaten some food that has stained my lips. I don't know what's going on. Let me try to put on a lip liner to see if it kind of fixes it. I think it's okay. I think what I would have to do if I wanted to put on lips is put a lip liner down maybe all over, and then just like a small layer of the the cream palette product on top. I'm gonna go do my eyebrows off camera, and then we'll come back for our very last product, and then we will be done. All right, I have finished up my eyebrows. I love the way a little bit of an eyebrow color can just really finish off the whole look. To set in place, I am going to be trying the Kryolan Fixing Spray, and this is their miniature size. Let me tell you a little bit about this product. This is a special cosmetic preparation for application over makeup. It creates an invisible protective film which prolongs the life of the makeup and its effects. Fixing spray is applied from a distance of approximately 30 centimeters thinly and evenly and allowed to dry. The protected makeup is then smudge and rub proof and withstands even excessively harsh effects and exposure. Fixing spray makes any makeup resistant to cold water and considerably delays the deterioration of makeup on the skin as a result of perspiration. Fixing spray contains alcohol and should not be applied near eyes or mucous membranes. Fixing spray can easily be removed with soap and water. Okay, so just before I spray this, I'm just going to take my foundation brush and just sort of smooth out my lines. Oh, I forgot I also put on some of the the Wayne Goss lip gloss. Bring my headband a little bit more like at my hairline so that the product doesn't get into my hair. It doesn't say I need to shake. Okay, I'm gonna try my best to not get in my eyes, as they say. Thinly and evenly. I don't think that was either. Let me try below my eyes. Where's my fan? Oh God. I think I got it in my mucous membrane. Okay, so that feels like hairspray. Okay, alright. I feel like if I was applying this to someone, I would need to give them some, like, swimming goggles and, like, a snorkel up their nose. Whew! Oh my God. Well, I think I panicked for a second and my eye got a little teary-eyed. So my lash is somehow coming off, but that's a personal problem. Yeah, like right here where I got a good amount, it feels like I got hairspray. And right here too. Whew. Okay, well I am very curious to see how that lasts on me for the rest of my day. Let me take down my hair and change my clothes, and then we'll come back for a little bit of a finished thoughts. Okay, here I am. I took down my hair. Last night I did one of the like no heat curl tricks. So I have like these, you know, fun curls here, and then I kind of have like weird waves in the back, so I'm just kind of scooting that to the rear. Anyways, I had a lot of fun trying all these new products. I'm gonna keep trying them over the next several months just to see what's my favorite way to wear them, what are my favorite ways to pair them, especially the Kryolan spray. I just really need to get better at spraying this. I think it can be done, and if it works, then it's going to be really a game changer for long days of special occasions. So I am really, really excited to try that. Rather, keep trying that. Hindash palette was an absolute dream. I ended up using that grayish tone in my brows, and I really look forward to trying the peachy and pink colors for cheeks later on some other time. What I noticed is that I did not powder my face at all today because the claim to the foundation was that it was self-setting and that it would last and I wouldn't need to. And then pairing it with that matte spray, you know, I shouldn't show any shine, of course. And so far I am really pleased. So my hope is that I will not be needing a face powder on the day of the wedding for my client, because I just love the way that a non-powdered skin looks, you know, for 8 to 10 hours. I think it just looks really, you know, fresh and lived in. If you have tried any of these products that I used today, I would love to hear what your experience has been like, just, you know, so I can compare and, you know, maybe grow from your insight. And if you haven't tried any of these, tell me, did any of these seem really appealing to you? Would you want to try one out for yourself on an everyday basis? Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you are doing so well, and I will see you soon. Bye.